Hey Tubes! Jonathan was wrong here. Truth on a budget. So you ever make eye contact with a beautiful woman and then just completely like forget what you're thinking about or doing? That can be dangerous when you're pulling out of a parking lot onto a busy street while trying to start a video. What the heck was even? Okay, so I can get pretty easily derailed. If you haven't guessed my weakness yet, you know, you haven't really been paying attention. Anyway, I want to talk about tolerance and how it's a bunch of crap. Tolerance is crap. All right, I'm gonna open hard on this one. I'm gonna open hard and strong, because I just saw one of those, you know, tolerance things with all the religious logos and stuff all over it. Looks like they added a few more. I didn't really get a good look, but I swear the L was an upside down cross, because we got to tolerate that now too. So let me talk a little bit about tolerance and the inherent dangers of quote unquote tolerance. Now, tolerance just sounds like one of those things like, oh, you should, you know, just be tolerant. It sounds like a nice thing, but here's the thing. When you tolerate evil, when you allow, you know, gruesome acts to, you know, to take place, you're allowing evil to happen. You're turning a blind eye to it, and you're just letting people do whatever they want. You're basically allowing the ones that want to do as thou wilt to do as thou wilt. So therefore, you're contributing to it by being tolerant. Some things are inherently evil. If your immediate reaction is like disgust and horror, that's probably the correct reaction. You should not have to get used to the idea of something. Nobody should have to get used to the idea of something. If the idea of something is immediately abhorrent, it probably is. Seriously. You know, and the fact of the matter is if, you know, is this whole idea of like, oh, you know, religious tolerance, you know, all religions are equal. Hey, idiot, if all religions were equal and the same and, you know, and all the, you know, all the same, if every religion was equal and the same, then none of them would mean anything and they'd all be nonsense and bullshit. If every religion was the exact same and had the exact same amount of credence and got the exact same amount of respect and was the exact same, that gets rid of religion. That eliminates religion, because they don't go together. They don't fit together. So the only way they can all coexist is if they're all nonsense. That's the danger of this tolerant bullshit. To say all religion is the same is to say there's no God. To say all religion is the same is to say that there's no such thing as faith, and that's crap. That you're just part of a club with like different mascots. That's all that means. You cannot be a Hindu and a Christian. All right, you can't be a Buddhist and a Hindu. None of them. They don't fit together. You can't say all religions are the same and equal, because then that immediately says that they're all nonsense. All right, that's the danger of this tolerance crap. Other than the fact that it's like, hey, be okay with those two dudes like borderline nailing each other in public. Be fine with that. Be tolerant. What are you, hateful? You know, what are you, some sort of ignorant, you know, cave person who like lives in the you know, Middle Ages and wants to burn people at stakes and whatnot? What are you, you know? I don't know. It's just they just take. It's the frog in the kettle all day. That's all we get. We're frogs. We're frogs in the kettle. And what they do is they slowly turn up the heat with more and more of this tolerance nonsense. We're the same. We're one. We're not the same. We're not one. We're very different. Our cultures are very different, and let it be. Our languages are very different. Let it be. We don't need to interact with each other. We don't need to trade with each other. We don't need to share our cultures. None of that needs to be. It's unnecessary. Because some people have stuff that other people don't, and some people have more of it, etc., etc. There's a very interesting book called Guns, Germs, and Steel. If you really think there needs to be a world economy and it works out for people, go ahead and read Guns, Germs, and Steel. Hell, they made a BBC or Channel 2 PBS like 3-part miniseries on it. If you can't read a book, watch the miniseries. It's a lot of the same ideas. Basically, the whole world economy is a scam. You can't go into someone else's country and tell them that they're poor. And that's what they did. They went into Africa, they went into South America, they went into Asia, and they're like, "Hey, you guys are poor." And they're like, "What do you mean we're poor?" And they're like, "You don't have any money. You see all this money we got? You guys don't have any. What's wrong with you? You're doing it wrong. Let us help you. Let us build some factories here. No one's working. What's going on here? You got a bunch of lazy people laying around not doing anything. They're lazy. Look at these lazy farmers. Look at these, lazy shepherds. Look at these lazy mothers. Look at these lazy fathers. Look at all these lazy people being part of a society. Look at these lazy people being part of a family unit. None of them are working. How come none of these people are working? They're so lazy. You people are poor and lazy. Look at you. You need stuff. You need things. You need to build stuff for us so we can have better stuff. You need to be part of it. You'll have stuff too. You'll have houses too, like we do. You'll have everything we have. It's a scam. How is it not obvious? You go to someone's country and tell them that they're poor? This isn't even disguised history. This is open history. All right? I don't even know how I got on this topic, but it's just stupid. We're sold so much crap and people just accept it because it's sold on emotion. And it's weak emotion. It's like all emotion, It's not real emotion. It's BS, like you're a piece of garbage. So you gotta, feel sorry for people every now and again to feel human again. So when they give you these sob stories, you tackle it. Because it's like, oh, here's my chance to have humility. Here's my chance to feel human and feel sorry for somebody. So I'm gonna feel human right now. And I'm gonna take advantage of this story and use it for myself. And I'm gonna tell other people about it so I can sound like an intelligent, sincere, caring person. Hey, did you hear about those people who are oppressed somewhere that I've never heard of? And I'm not even sure that they're oppressed? They sure could use some democracy, huh? You get it? Do you get it? Do you see how things work yet? Probably if you're here. If you're here, you're in the know or you're a troll. I don't... We need to branch out my audience a little bit. I need to slap some people awake. Getting sick of this crap. It's so obvious. It's so obvious all day, every day, what's going on. It's just like... People are weak and afraid. Weakness is one of the biggest issues, When Jesus said the meek shall inherit the earth, that wasn't a good thing. That wasn't like awesome. That wasn't like, It's the meek are the idiot masses, are the weak people who need attention from strangers. The meek are the young ladies who need to put pictures of themselves on the internet every 5 to 20 minutes so strangers can tell them that they're pretty. Okay? That's pathetic. That's sad. All right? If you need attention from strangers all the time, you're a sad, sorry individual and you need to fix yourself. I'm sorry your dad wasn't around or like whatever happened to mess you up, but identify it and deal with it. All right? That goes for everybody. If you have a problem, if you have an issue, effing get over it. Identify that you have an issue. If you need to pinpoint where it came from, sometimes that's helpful. All right? But admit you're living wrong and fix it. Stop living wrong. Stop it. You don't need attention from people who don't give a shit about you. If someone doesn't care about you, why do you need their attention? Why does it matter what they think? They don't know you. They don't care about you. They wouldn't spend a second suffering for you. Why does this person's opinion matter to you? Grow up. You know? It's just, the world, man, is just such a, mind F, and people just are just not, with it. They can't discern, and it's just baffling sometimes when it's just stuff so obvious. Now we're supposed to be tolerant of Satanism, Sorry, I'm spitting everywhere. We're supposed to be tolerant of effing Satanists now. The next step, I've been talking about it. Of course, people are like, oh, you're really, I heard someone else talking about it. What was it? I don't want to misquote, so I'm not gonna. But anyway, he was saying about how the other side likes to turn around and be like, oh, all you Christians are obsessed with pedophilia and all this stuff. And it's like, no, it's because it's coming. We're not obsessed with it. We're troubled, and we want to help the kids. We see what's coming. All there's, it's more and more, pedophilia is a sexuality, blah blah blah, and it's gonna be the same crap they did with the gay garbage, where they're gonna say it's a sexuality, it's not a deviancy, it's not a mental issue, it's a sexuality, and be tolerant. And that's if we got to be tolerant of Satanists now, if seriously, man, I was at PetSmart the other day with my buddy Tony, and he noticed that the chick there had a pentacle with the goat head in it, friggin' Gota Mendez medallion, big openly right there. And it's like the stuff's just in the open now. I'm trying to justify, maybe she thinks it's some sort of Wiccan thing, but it's upside down. Wiccans think that the pointing up is good and pointing down is bad. It's all bad. Doesn't matter what's it's rotated. It's the same. It's the same effing. I don't know. Anyway, it's, you just see this crap everywhere, and it's getting more and more apparent. It's getting more and more in our faces, and it's gonna be fashionable to be Satanist. It's gonna be. They're gonna have satanic holidays. Like what are we having? We're having Saturnalia now, and they're having upside down Christmas trees, excuse me, and all that crap. The next step, it only gets worse. It only gets worse. It doesn't get better. They don't take steps back, and if they do take a step back, it's like, whoa, we went a little too far with the guy liner. You remember guy liner? You remember when it was cool for heterosexual men to wear eye makeup for a year? Do you remember that? Well, they pushed that, and that was a little too much, so they pulled it back. That was a little too much, so they pulled it back. And that's what they do. They'll test, they'll do a little psyop, and they'll go ahead and hey, let's do some gay eye for the straight guy, and see what happens. Let's do some let's put it out there. Hey, let's make women wear this. My favorite is, hey, let's make women wear this. That's a fun game that they like to play, that women love to go along with. Man, I don't know. It's just, we're screwed, and this whole tolerance thing is going to be one of the biggest screwers. I think those coexist and tolerance things need to have a big stark dry vibrator attached to them. Excuse my language, because they're screwing all of us raw. It's not for anyone's benefit. Us being tolerant of evil, what's the end game? More evil. Okay? If it's fashionable to be dead inside, if it's fashionable to not give a crap, if it's politically correct to let people do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anyone else, that's the way of the day. That's how things are going right now, and that's it's crap. We should not be tolerant. We should be intolerant. We should not be open-minded. We should be close-minded. These are not negatives. What, are you gonna let anything in? Yeah, go ahead. Come in, do what you want, move stuff around, feng shui the place, do what you want. No, don't let it in. Just because there is an idea or an opinion out there doesn't mean it's a good one. You know? There's this whole weird mindset. It's like, oh, but there's more information, but it's not good. It doesn't matter if there's other options, if those other options are stupid. You get me? There's this whole like, oh, there's two sides to every argument. Well, there's more than two sides, but to say that there's two sides and that each side is equal is stupid. That's stupid. My opinion will matter more than someone who's completely uneducated. Because I've researched stuff. You know? That's just how it works. Someone who's, you know, done judo their whole lives is gonna be better at judo than you if you've never done judo. it's like, I don't know how else to, like, how can you know about something you've never studied? How can you know about something you've never looked into? What? Because it's it's like the whole casual advice thing. I hate casual advice. Have you ever talked to someone and they just like, oh, they just think about something for a split second and like give you some casual advice and it's stupid, and then you try not to get insulted? It's like, this has been a problem for a while. You know, I've been thinking about it for a while. You really think your 2 seconds of consideration in like... Okay, good, it's still going. So my buddy Tony's calling me right now, and I'm not done with this video. The heck was I saying? Anyway, it's all, you know, it's just because someone else has an opinion, if that person is stupid and uneducated and possibly working for the wrong side, their opinion doesn't matter. Okay? If you don't know anything about anything, then your opinion does not have as much weight as someone who knows stuff about stuff. That's just how it is. You could chime in with your 2 cents, but it's ignorant. You don't know anything. All right? And that's what they want. They want a bunch of people who are ignorant, who don't know about anything, who vote with their heart. That's how democracy works. That's why democracy is the political force of the mystery religions, because democracy is 51 kills 49. Okay? What they used to do is they used to go out and used to fire people up and get them to vote, and then they'd vote with their hearts and they'd vote for something stupid, and then someone would get killed or, you know, whatever. That's what happened in friggin' Athens. That's what happened in Macedonia. That's what happened in ancient Greece. We have this fairy tale image of Greece being this, you know, the new way and how things should be and all this stuff. Do you know why? Because the people in charge are obsessed with Athena. The people who are in charge are obsessed with these ancient cultures because they were closer to the old ones. They had closer connections to the old gods. They knew them. That's why they're obsessed with these people. The Greece was the model for the new way. It was the new Babylon. All right. It's just the socially acceptable Babylon. That's what Rome is. Rome is New Greece. It's the same crap over and over again, and they celebrate it. The fact of the matter is that democracy is 51 stupid people vote to kill 49 intelligent people. Because think about it. Think about the majority of people. They're not good at stuff. They're not intelligent. They're not, you know, I'm sorry, but it's a fact. Majority is rubbish. They're not, that's just how it is. When you mass produce and you tell everyone that they're special and they can do whatever they want, you end up with a bunch of useless people. Do you really want these people voting your fate? You know, it's terrifying. But that's where all this tolerance is getting us. Tolerance is the warm water heating around us. All right, it's gonna kill us all. I love each and every one of you. God bless all of you. Have a beautiful day and God bless.